Cold air is flowing into the region, and tonight freezing temperatures everywhere about west of Interstate 95. Even on the east side of I-95 we could see some freezing temperatures and frost elsewhere all the way out to the islands. You'll need to protect any tender vegetation in your winter gardens. I'll show you what I'm planning to do with my winter garden. While I'm at it, I'm going to be picking some green beans over here and some wax beans. Those that I planted in early October are ready for harvest right now. Plus, the sky is clearing off slowly, but it'll be clear tonight just in time for the Leonid Meteor shower, which peaks tonight and tomorrow morning. I'll have more information about that and a look at what's visible in the nighttime sky this week. I'll have all that information and more right here, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Pat Prokop, and welcome to my Weather and Nature channel.
There you can see on the satellite imagery clearing weather conditions across our region. However, we still have some clouds streaming across eastern Georgia, South Carolina, but the clearing conditions will prevail throughout the nighttime hours. And with that, those temperatures will be dropping down. Now, late afternoon on Thursday, we're seeing those temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s, but they'll be dropping throughout the nighttime hours. And as we go overnight, you can see the freezing line moving south into our area. By sunrise tomorrow morning, we'll be all in the upper 20s to lower 30s, middle 30s perhaps on the islands, but even so, all areas over here will be in the frost zone. So all cold temperatures with frosting likely, and sub-freezing temperatures mostly west of Interstate 95, even a little bit on the east side of Interstate 95. And then going advance into Friday afternoon, we warm up into the low 50s, and then tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday morning, once again it drops down into the 30s across many locations, particularly from I-95 westward, with chilly to cold conditions even on the islands, and all areas once again will be getting a frosting. But then things begin to warm up after that, and we'll stay above freezing. It looks like not only the next couple of nights, but the next several nights, if not several weeks. Let's take a look at the extended outlook, the computer models. Most of the country this week below normal weather conditions, temperature-wise. It'll be very cold across much of the country. It's already cold across the northern tier of states, and they're going to be well below normal on top of that. So they're going to see some temperatures below zero up in the northern tier around North and South Dakota and Minnesota. But for us, we're going to be down in the upper 20s and lower 30s. Normal low is about, what, 48 degrees right now? Anyway, looking ahead for the week number 2, which goes into the Thanksgiving week and the weekend after Thanksgiving, Black Friday and Saturday. There you can see, for us, temperatures take a rebound and warm up rapidly from the below normal to above normal. And the middle of the country, they're going to have a huge rebound, the north central portion of the country, to well above normal for them. So they're going from below to well below normal to above to well above normal. And then going into week number 3, this is the early portion of December. We stay mild, and the middle of the country stays above normal. And then week number 4, which takes us into the middle portion of December. And that shows the temperatures remaining mild across the eastern 2/3 of the country, well above normal for the middle of the country. Us being above normal, normal high on this period here is about 68 degrees for us, and we'll be above that. So, and then going into the week of Christmas, we remain mild, and then going into the end of the year, the end of December, going to around New Year's Day, we're cooling off a little bit, but we still stay above normal. Normal high for the end of the year, late December for us, is in the low to middle 60s with lows in the upper 30s, lower 40s, but we should be above that. So if you have a winter garden, yeah, it'll be good to protect it the next couple nights, because you're going to have at least 4 weeks, maybe even 5 to 6 weeks of good chilly growing weather conditions for the garden. And with that, let's take a look at what I'm doing outside in my garden to keep things from freezing up overnight.
I planted these beans in late September, early October, somewhere around there, and with hopes of a mild autumn, and that's exactly what I had. Now tonight it's going to be down into the upper 20s to lower 30s across many areas west of Interstate 95. However, my temperature here is going to be dropping down to about 33, 34 degrees, but cold enough for frost to develop across these plants. But look at the beans. They have matured and they are ready to pick. I got lots of green beans here that have been doing very well. And I mean, there's a lot. Look at all these beans in here. They're all over the place. This is a good, oh man, these are going to be great. Just in time for Thanksgiving as well. I'm picking beans, and I'll be picking beans for the next several weeks here in the Heavenly Backyard Garden. And these are the green beans. Over here, I have the wax beans, and they're doing just as well. And I don't know if you've ever grown wax beans. I have in the past, and these are fantastic. They taste so good, and they are ready for picking. And just look at these beans. They're huge. Nice green wax beans right here from the Heavenly Backyard Garden. Besides the wax beans and the green beans, I have oranges over here as well, and I'm going to pick a few of those right now. These are Satsuma mandarin oranges, and they are just delicious. And they're about the size of baseballs or tennis balls. But yeah, this tree is loaded with these oranges. I have another tree on the other side of the garden as well. And these oranges peel very, very easily. Let me just show you how easy they are. Look at that. It just peels right off. These are called, again, Satsuma mandarin oranges. And wow. To top it all off, I can just throw those back in the garden. To top it all off, they're seedless in many cases. And the taste? Orange candy. I tell you, orange candy. That tastes so good. I gotta have more. All right, with that, let's cover up the garden to protect it for tonight. Also, I'm going to show you my tomato plants, how I'm going to protect them as well. Boy, these oranges are great. These are just some old sheets left lying around, which I saved just for purposes like this right here. I just simply will put these over the beans, and that's going to protect them from tonight's light frost or frost, and possible light freeze. That's it. I need to weigh them down a little bit so that in case of any wind comes, it doesn't blow them away. Now, these tomato plants I got in these buckets here are easy to put back in the greenhouse. They don't weigh that much, and that's an easy task to do. But these guys here in the whiskey barrels, they're kind of heavy. And I suppose I can force it to get them up, but I have an easier way, using a dolly. And I just simply get these on the dolly, and I'm able to get them up. And now I can just roll it into the garage and protect these plants here. And away we go. And the Christmas poinsettias from last year that I planted in the garden in March and let them grow all summer long are blooming now, but they'll need protection as well. They do not like frost or freezing temperature. As long as I cover them up, they'll be fine. Last year we did have a night when it got down to 21 degrees, and even covering them up didn't save them. But this is the new batch, and they grew all summer long, and they're blooming now. And if I just cover them up for the next couple of nights, they'll be blooming right here just in time for Christmas. Actually, before Christmas. They're beginning to bloom right now.
So here's the sky tonight at 2 o'clock in the morning, actually, and there's Leo, the lion, rising in the eastern sky. Orion the Hunter, the very famous Orion the Hunter with the big bright stars for its belt, and then Rigel and Betelgeuse, very bright red and very bright white over here, shining high overhead. But off to the east is where Leo will be rising, and this is where you're going to find the Leonids coming out of this area over here in Leo the Lion. So you want to be looking off toward the east right after midnight, and then as the night progresses, we can go into the time frame. Let's say this is 5 o'clock in the morning. There you have the Leonids getting high in the southern sky, and the moon is not that far behind. So the moon is going to cause a little bit of issues with the viewing of the Leonids. Just the brighter Leonids will be visible. However, the Leonids move very swift, and sometimes they even leave a trail as they zip on by, and in some cases you can almost hear it. So listen for the nights. If you're watching for the meteors, you might see 10 to 20 meteors per hour in the very darkest of sky. The moon will be obliterating some of those fainter meteors, but yeah, you should be able to see something over the course of an hour or two. Of course, it's going to be cold, so definitely bundle up if you plan to be out for the night. The best viewing is anywhere where you have a clear view of the eastern sky and southeastern sky later on in the night. After about 6 o'clock, though, the sun starts rising and the show will be over. But what else is up in the sky? So if you go outside tonight, in the next several nights with the clear sky, you can see the planet Saturn still. It's a dull yellow red, and it's getting lower and lower in the southwestern sky. Jupiter is dominant in the southern sky, high in the southern sky, very bright. You can't miss it. That bright thing up in the sky, that's Jupiter. And if you go forward in time, around 9 o'clock or so at night, 10 o'clock at night, you're going to start seeing Mars coming up in the northeastern sky. See if I can bring that in. There it goes right there. Mars is extremely bright as well, and it's a red color. You can't miss it. Jupiter is very bright. Mars is almost as bright. And the difference between the two is this one's white and this one's red. You can't miss it. It's red. And there's another red object nearby, Aldebaran in Taurus the Bull. That's a bright red giant. And Betelgeuse is a red giant as well. But Mars outshines the two of them. The three of them form this triangle right over here. The cold air is flowing in, but this won't last very long, as we'll be back in the 70s next week with 60s and 70s for several weeks thereafter, all the way up to Christmas perhaps. The best viewing of the Leonid Meteor shower is tonight from midnight to 6 a.m., looking toward the east and then southeast. So bundle up for the next few days and nights and enjoy the sky at night. At least tonight and tomorrow before those clouds return over the weekend, along with those moderating temperatures. If you like this video, please hit that like button below. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, as you'll get notification when I upload new videos right here on my Weather and Nature channel. For more astronomy, you can catch me on my Heavenly Backyard Astronomy channel. Until then, thanks for watching, and see you right here on YouTube. I'm going to go out and pick some beans.